Hello class, I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk to you about the final assignment for our class, which is the ePortfolio and Longitudinal Reflection. Now this video right here is going to be how to set up your ePortfolio and talking a little bit about what will be found in that ePortfolio once it's set up. Now, your ePortfolio is, in essence, like a mini website that is going to host a few different pages that feature different writings that you have done for this course. And then also, it will feature your longitudinal reflection, which you will have to write as a part of the overarching assignment. So this assignment, as you'll see on the prompt, has two parts. Part of it is setting up this ePortfolio. The second part is the writing of your longitudinal reflection, which will be present or presented to me in your ePortfolio. So how you set up your ePortfolio. So you're going to come here to Blackboard, and then what you're going to do is go to this section that says tools, right? So I'm not in our course or anything like that. I'm just in Blackboard, just the initial page that you see when you first sign into Blackboard. So I'm going to go to tools over here on the bar, or on the left navigation rather. So once that loads, you'll be able to go down and find this button here that says portfolios. So I'm going to click on portfolios. Now, if you have portfolios that already exist, you'll be able to find them here. I'm guessing for most of you, you will probably not see anything in this section down here. I'm actually going to delete some of these. You probably should delete some of these. So once you're in portfolios, though, what you'll do is up here in the corner, it says Create Portfolio. So go ahead and click Create Portfolio. And up here at the top, you can give your portfolio a name. So I would probably just use your name and English 103 portfolio, right? So here I'm just going to put Maryland's fall 2020 English 103 portfolio, something along those lines. Okay. Now, not all, if you ever have to do this for another class in the future, it may not come with a template involved, but this course does actually have a template. So where it says template here, there's this little button below the title. You're going to click Select Portfolio Template. Once this comes up, you'll see a huge array of, or quite an extensive list of portfolio templates that exist. Now, we are in English 103, and so you're just going to choose this template. It says English 103, Rhetoric and Composition 1, template to be used in English 103. So I'm going to click this little radio button here, and then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and hit Submit. Okay. Now, you don't need to do anything else on this page. Instead, you're just, except for submitting. So once you give it a title, choose your template, then you're going to go down and hit Submit. Now, it's going to give you this option. It says getting started with portfolio, take the tour, or you can click no thanks, I'll explore my own. Essentially, I'm going to be showing you what you need to do here. So I would recommend for you guys just saying no thanks, I'll explore my own, and then just finishing my video. So no thanks, I'll explore my own. Okay, so you'll notice here that there are 5 different sections over here in this left-hand navigation panel. These represent the 5 pages that will be present on your ePortfolio. Like I said a little bit earlier, it's almost like a mini website that will have little bits of information in it. So the first is your home page, then you're going to have a page that's for analysis, then another page for writing with sources, another section for audience and genre, and another section for your longitudinal reflection. So let's go ahead and start on the home page. It already is on that, so I'm just going to show you, like if you weren't, you would just click on the home page and it would come over here, right? So here, where it says section 1, I would probably click there, and then you'll notice that everything becomes editable, or most of it becomes editable. Where it says section 1, I would change that to something like about me. Now down here in this paragraph, or this, this word processing section, here you're going to type a little bit about yourself. It just needs to be like a short paragraph. It doesn't need to be anything overly extensive or anything like that. But you might want to give a little bit of information about who you are. Give them your name. What's your major? What's your goal in terms of, what do you want to do after college, if you know what that is? Just a little bit about you in general. Like if you have extracurriculars that you do or typically would do if it weren't for COVID, you could provide that information here. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little something. My name, I'm just going to make something up because obviously I'm not a freshman, but I'm going to say my name is Marilyn. I am a freshman at Northern Illinois University. Let's say I am majoring in English and plan to become a teacher. Now here, you can also provide something like a photo or something like that if you wish. You can push this little button here to expand the options. And then if you wanted, you could do something like select a photo to put into your document. So let's see here. What you would do is do the add content button here. I'm going to insert a local file. And here I'm just going to find, I'll just find a picture, choose. Now this is like huge and sort of a glamour shot of me, but that's fine. So I'm going to choose my picture and I'm going to just make it smaller because this is huge. I'm just going to use the little, kind of like what we did in your, when I was showing how to put photos into a paper. If I just use if I use the drag from the corner, I can do that. Now, of course, you don't have to include a photo here or anything if you don't want to, but you certainly can, and I think it adds a little something extra to your portfolio if you do. So that's definitely a possibility. Like I said, when you do your paragraph, it should be probably a little bit longer than what I have here, but this is just sort of for example purposes. So make sure that you include something a little bit more verbose than what I've put in this, but this can give you at least a general idea of how this would go. Okay, so now once you have put your paragraph in, added a photo if you want to, what you're going to do is come down here and press save. Now this is really important because if you don't hit save, then it's not going to save any of the progress that you've already made. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push save here. And then we can go on to a new section. So now I'm going to go on to the analysis section. So here it's kind of the same thing. It's a blank slate for the most part right now. I'm going to click in the box again, and again, it'll make things editable. So now for analysis, you're going to choose from the papers that you've done in this course, a paper that demonstrates your ability to do an analysis. Now, the same is going to be true of the other couple of sections here. The writing with sources, you need to find a paper that you've written for this class where it demonstrates that you can write with sources. For the third section here, the audience and genre, you need to find a paper that takes audience and genre into consideration, right? Now, you cannot double dip. So each of the papers that you choose for these three sections need to be different. So for example, if I chose say let's say for this first section, maybe I'll use my paper where we talked about stereotypes, so the visual analysis, right? So I might my little subsection here, I might put visual analysis essay. Now down here in this section, then I would describe why it is that I think my visual analysis paper demonstrates my ability to do an analysis, right? And you might even draw like a couple of examples from your actual paper to sort of show that this particular paper was something that you excelled in performing an analysis, right? Now, the other thing though that you need to do, so again, write approximately a paragraph down in here, explaining why you chose this paper for this particular section, okay? Excuse me. Okay. Now, the other thing you need to do here before we go on to adding papers to these other section is we need to actually add the paper. So where it says add artifact right here, you're going to click add artifact. Now, there are two different things that you can do. You can add a personal artifact, or you can add from the course. Now, if you click add from course, then basically what you'll do is after you've clicked that, it's going to bring up the number of courses that you have available in Blackboard. So you'll choose our course for this, and then once you choose that course, any paper that you've turned in for this class will show up here in the results. Now, I'm not actually a student, so when I click any of these, it's not going to have any results to show you. But for you guys, because you've turned in all of your major assignments into Blackboard and through uploading through Blackboard, you will have options here. Now, when you do this, though, keep in mind that you're going to have drafts available. You're going to have multi-drafts available if you turned in more than one copy of an assignment. I know some of you, like, you turned it in incorrectly or chose maybe the wrong document, and then you quickly re-uploaded a secondary upload of a certain assignment, things like that. So be mindful of that when you go through and choose which document you want to attach, right? If you use this particular method of attaching a document, okay? Make sure it's the final draft and it's the polished, the most up-to-date, most polished version of whatever paper, right? Once you've chosen whichever paper, what you would do is hit submit. Of course, I can't do that because I haven't actually chosen a paper because I don't have any in here to choose because, again, this isn't a student profile. But you guys, again, will have options if you choose our course from the sidebar here, okay? Now I'm going to go back and show you the one other way that you can do this. So I'm going to hit cancel right now for that. I'm going to hit add artifact again. And the other thing you can do is do add personal artifact. So if I click add personal artifact, I'm going to be able to give the title. So let's say I did a paper about the dumb blonde for the visual analysis. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down, and where it says attach files, I'm going to browse local files. And then basically I would be able to choose the paper that I want to upload. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's see. I'm just going to find like one of my, I'm just going to upload the syllabus, I guess. So I'm going to upload, we're going to pretend this is the paper. So I'm going to choose this. And then what I'm going to do is scroll down and hit submit. And then you'll see that it has like a little button here now that says, what I titled it, Dumb Blonde or whatever. So, in theory, we're pretending right now that when I uploaded the syllabus, we're pretending that was actually the paper of my, that I wrote about the dumb blonde stereotype and how it's visually constructed, right? So then that would be here where I could click it, or the audience who is going to see my portfolio could click it, and then they'll be able to read the paper, okay? So again, with this, if I've set this up, I'm going to come down here and hit save. So that way it saves my progress. Okay. Then I would go on and do the same thing in writing with sources. So here I might choose something like the common reading experience essay, right, where I wrote with sources on that. And then for the audience and genre, maybe I'll put my personal narrative from, the first couple of weeks of class. Or I could do my film and lit paper, right? But again, you can't double dip here. So if you use one paper for analysis, you can't use that same paper for writing with sources or audience and genre, right? And the same is true with writing with sources. You can't use it for analysis or audience and genre, right? You have to make sure you have different papers for these 3 sections, but they will all be constructed in the same way. You'll click in, maybe give me some background about the paper that you're using. You might put common reading experience essay, and then down here, paragraph about why you chose this paper. And then add the artifact, right? And I'm just gonna choose here. These are stuff that I've uploaded before when I've demonstrated this to people. So just for convenience sake, I'm just going to pick out of these, but you guys will probably do the add from course or add personal artifact from your computer, right? So I'm going to submit. Again, you'll see that it has a thing here. I'm not going to do the same for audience and genre, just for, oops, I forgot to save. See, don't navigate away. Cancel, oops. So save it, make sure it saves. Then you'd go on and do the same thing for audience and genre. For saving time purposes, and because the steps are in essence the same, I'm not going to demonstrate that. But then you'll go down to longitudinal reflection. Now this here, you don't necessarily have to add a paragraph for this, because your longitudinal reflection, once you add the artifact, that's going to give me what I need to know anyways. And primarily what you're graded on in this course are the paragraphs that you write to explain in these other 3 sections and this longitudinal reflection. So keep in mind, the longitudinal reflection you guys are not uploading to Blackboard in any other section. So this paper you will have to use the add personal artifact. So you'll have to upload it from your computer in this section. You can't just add it from course, because you have not turned in your longitudinal reflection, and you will not turn in your longitudinal reflection to Blackboard in any other form except for as a piece of this ePortfolio. Okay. So once you've picked what you need there, again, I'm just going to pretend like you have, I'm just going to pretend one of these is the reflection, and I'm going to hit submit. And I might put reflection here. And then again, in the reflection part, you do not need to add a paragraph here if you don't want. And I'm going to hit save to save my stuff. And then, so we're going to pretend like I've finished putting together all of my information here. All my paragraphs are done, whatever. There is a little bit more that you can do. So what you can do is you can push this preview and customize button up at the top. So preview and customize. It takes a minute sometimes to load. So then this would be, in essence, what my portfolio would look like. It's my home page, the analysis page with my, what would be a paragraph, and then the button to see the, if I hit this, you can see that I'll go to another page, and then you can read the paper, right? Again, this is sort of not actually the paper, right? I was just pretending that's the right thing. But you can kind of see how this sort of looks like a mini website. So this is essentially what it looks like right now. However, you can make a few different changes to the way that this is presented. So up here in the corner, it says customize style. So if you click customize style, there are 2 different things that you can change here. There's the layout. So layout 1 is just as it is now with this little navigation panel on the left. If you choose layout 2, it'll move your layout, or excuse me, your thing over to the right here. Layout 3 just puts a box around it. And then number 4 will put your navigation across the top. So you'll notice that this is up here now. So you can just choose whichever of those styles is most fitting in your eyes. Of course, it will keep this no matter where you travel, right? So your whole ePortfolio or mini website then will have the that layout attached to all the pages, right? Okay, so then the other thing that you can do is where it says color, you can change this, like where it's gray here on the sides. Basically, you can change the background. They are all equally effing ugly, IMHO. But you can just go through and figure out which one you think is the least detestable. I'm just going to go ahead and randomly pick music just because. Um, and then it should, or maybe that is music. Let's pick another one just so you can kind of see something a little bit more. There you go. So if I pick the garnet, you can kind of see how it changes the color of the background. Seems true, like if I pick nature, for example, it has like this leafy pattern, right? They're not, none of them are all that exciting, like I say, but you can choose whichever one you think is best for you. So once you figure out what you want for your layout and your color, you just push save and then close. And then what I would do is go up to done editing. And then it brings me back to my portfolios thing. Now let's pretend you had only finished part of your portfolio and you needed to go back to fit in, like for example, I didn't actually finish all 3 of the sections in uploading like my old papers, right? So I could then, let's exit out of this for a minute. Let's say you just logged back into Blackboard and you want to edit those things, right? You can do that. That's fine. What you would do is then you're going to go to Tools again, go to your portfolios. You're going to find the correct portfolio. So here's my Maryland's Fall 2020 English 103 portfolio. What I'm going to do is come to this button that says Edit, and then it brings me back in. So I could go to that audience and genre and actually add my my other paper here, right? So film and lit, add paragraph. So you're going to add your paragraph here about why you chose this paper as whatever. Add your artifact. I'm just going to choose something for now. Of course, you guys will actually choose the correct paper. Then hit submit and save. Okay. So again, if you needed to come in a couple of times, just make sure you're saving, then done editing, etc. Okay. Now, the other really important part of this that you need to know how to do is how to share your portfolio with me. Now, it's really important that you do this the way that I tell you to, because if you send me the wrong link, I will not be able to see it. Or if you set up the link in the wrong way, again, I will not be able to see it, to grade it and all of that, okay? So when you are ready to send me the link or submit the link to me, what you're going to do is you're going to go, let's just pretend we're going back into Blackboard again. So let's say we just signed in. We go to Tools, Portfolios, find the correct portfolio. So this is the correct portfolio, the one that I just made. I'm going to click this More button, and then I'm going to go down to Share. Now, what I've got here is I've never shared this portfolio with anyone, so there's nothing in here right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go share a snapshot with. Now, after I do this, it gets this little menu here. I'm going to go to external users. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my email address in here. So you guys are going to put my email address. I'm not going to say it in the video. Now, you don't need to do anything else on this page except for put my email address in there, right? You're sending it to me. You don't need to type anything in here. Please do not put a password or anything like that on this. That just makes it harder for me to access it. Do not put an expiration date on it. Just don't touch anything. Just put my email address in there correctly, and then come down to the bottom and click submit. Okay. Now, once I click submit, it might take just a second, but what you're going to get is a screen that looks like this. This is the link that I need you to send me. So you're going to copy, oops. I'm going to go down here and highlight this address, and you can either right click and copy link, or you can do, if you're on a Mac, Command C, or I believe if you're on a PC, it's Control C. And then you're going to paste this particular link into the submission folder. So I'm going to show you where that is. It's much like with all of our other assignments. If you go into our course and then go into the assignments section and then go to ePortfolio, it says turn in link for your ePortfolio here, do that. Then you're just going to paste this into this section where it says write submission. So you're going to need to push this button, write submission, and then you're going to paste your link in here, okay? And once you've done that, you'll just hit submit. Now, I'm not a student, so it's going to error on me if I try to actually submit this. So I'm just going to hit cancel, but you guys will hit submit, okay? And that's how you turn in your portfolio. Now, if you do not turn in that correct portfolio link to me, it might deny me access, which would mean that I cannot access your portfolio. The other thing that you need to keep in mind here, if you make any changes to your portfolio after you have submitted the link to me, I am not going to be able to see any of the changes that you have made unless you go in and create a new link. Now, the reason for this, if you notice, so when I hit more settings, or excuse me, I'm sorry, wrong, portfolios, I'm going to choose my more share. Now, notice that it said share a snapshot with. Now, this is kind of literal in a sense. It is essentially taking a snapshot of your portfolio in the moment of time that you're creating this snapshot and sending that to me. If you make any changes to your portfolio after you have created that snapshot, right, at this specific time and with this specific link, those changes that you make afterwards they don't live update, right, based on the link that you send me. Okay, you send me the portfolio with this link in the condition that it is in at the moment that you send it. So don't think that you can send me the link and then just worry about creating or finishing off your portfolio later or anything like that. That is not going to work. Because if you send me a link to a portfolio when it was not completed, I'm going to see that portfolio in whatever state it was in when you created this link. Okay, you need to create a new link if you want me to see it in some other state other than it was in when you sent me that initial snapshot, right? It is different from a live website in the sense that it doesn't update when you republish it, for example, right? It shows me the website or the ePortfolio rather, as it exists when you created that snapshot of it, okay? So if it comes to the point where maybe you made a few additional changes, you're like, oh crap, I forgot to add an artifact. So then you went back and you edited the ePortfolio, added the website, whatever. You can't just come back in here and then take this same link and send it to me. You need to create a new link. So you would just do the same process. Share a snapshot with external users. You would again put in my email address. Oops. Make sure it's just spelled correctly and all that. Again, don't change anything down here. Don't add a password. Don't add an expiration date. Nothing like that. Just submit it. And then after you hit submit, now you'll notice that there are two different snapshots now. Okay. So there's one that you made today at 9:50, today at 9:54, right? So you can see that there are different ones. So you'll always want to make sure that you give me I'm guessing the most recent. If you made another, I'm assuming it means you made changes to it. So make sure you choose the correct one when you come back. So you'll notice that the links are different each time, right? And that's because this is going to be in a different state, presumably, than it was in this snapshot, right? Because if you went back and made changes and then now you're creating a new link, it's going to give me a copy of the portfolio as it existed in this new moment of time, right? In this new moment that you created this particular link. Okay. So again, then you just go back and do the same process, copy this link. If I can, trying to get it. There you go. So I'm going to do Command C or Control C. I'm going to exit out. I would do the same thing, just go back to our course, go to the assignment, go to the ePortfolio, go to turn in the link, and then, again, write submission, and then copy the link in there. Okay, same process. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to all of you. Make sure, of course, that you submit it. I'm going to cancel here because, again, I'm not a student and it'll probably error on me, but you'll hit submit. And then that's essentially it. Once you've done that, I should be able to access, if I have trouble accessing or if it looks like you're missing things or whatever, usually if I have trouble accessing, I'll usually email you and let you know. If you're missing things, it kind of depends on how much time I have with grading. I try to make sure I have enough time to let you guys know so you can re-upload or resend the link. So yeah, just watch your emails even after you turn in this final assignment when you do, because if I have trouble accessing it or something like that, you're going to want to know so that way you can actually get it turned in correctly. Okay. Hopefully you'll follow the directions that I gave you in this video and you won't have to worry about that. But like I say, just make sure you watch your email just in case I have trouble. Okay. If you have any questions about this, feel free to, of course, let me know, and we can go from there. Okay. I hope you have a good day, and I'll chat with y'all soon.